In this video, we are going to talk about 10 secret facts about Nike. So before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. Nike is one of the most well-known corporations on the planet, both in the business world and in the sporting goods industry. Several factors contribute to the company's success, the most important of which is its effective marketing strategy, which has elevated it to the status of household name in countries all over the world. To be sure, Nike possesses the fundamentals required to maintain its great position in the market, and this should be stressed throughout this article. Take, for example, the company's position as the world's leading producer of sports footwear and clothing. Its brand was valued at $29.6 billion in 2017, making it one of the most valuable brands in the world by a wide margin, according to Brand Finance. Just to state the obvious, Nike is a significant organization, something that has been accomplished incrementally over the course of more than 5 decades by the company's founders. Here are the 10 secret facts about Nike. So let's start. Number 10. Named for the goddess. Nike is the ancient Greek goddess of victory who appeared in a wide variety of ancient Greek art forms as a lady with bird wings, among other forms. This brand is named after her. That Nike, along with Kratos, Bia, and Zealous, was one of the 4 children of the river goddess Styx, intrigues me. All 4 of these characters were personifications of power, ferocity, and zeal in their own right. When Styx convinced their father Zeus to turn to the gods' side during the gods' uprising against their giant progenitors, Zeus' 4 siblings became some of his most trusted allies. Number 9. Started out as Blue Ribbon Sports. Nike did not become recognized as Nike until after the company had been established for a period of time. In its early years, the company was known as Blue Ribbon Sports, albeit it is crucial to emphasize that it was primarily a distributor of footwear rather than a manufacturer of footwear. Nike is the name that the corporation is recognized by today. If you're interested in knowing more about the individuals who co-founded the firm that would eventually become Nike, one was a student athlete named Phil Knight, and the other was a high school coach named Bill Bowerman. You can discover more about them here. Number 8. Shoe distributor for Onitsuka Tiger. When Blue Ribbon Sports first started out, it was as a distributor for the Japanese shoe manufacturer Onitsuka Tiger. This was in the company's early days of operation. Following World War II, an ex-military officer started Onitsuka Tiger with the goal of promoting athletics in order to boost the self-esteem of Japanese adolescents. Onitsuka Tiger is one of the most well-known shoe companies in Japan, and it has a large following in the country. After merging with a couple of other Japanese shoe manufacturers, Onitsuka Tiger became a part of the ASICS organization, which was founded as a result of the merger between Onitsuka Tiger and the other companies. Most of Knight and Bowerman's sales were made at track meetings when they were still working as shoe distributors, and the two would go to these events in Knight's vehicle, which they would use to transport their merchandise. Number 7. Had first brick-and-mortar store in 3rd year of operation. Blue Ribbon Sports grew at a healthy rate over the years. Over the course of its first year in operation, the company sold a total of 1,300 pairs of shoes, grossing over $8,000 in sales. On the other hand, during its 2nd year of operation, it generated approximately $20,000 in gross income, which was sufficient to pay the costs of 1 full-time employee. During the company's 3rd year of existence, Blue Ribbon Sports was able to open its first brick-and-mortar facility, eliminating the necessity for its employees to sell shoes from the trunks of their automobiles. Number 6. There is some dispute over who Bowerman made the first pair of Nike shoes for. When it comes to who Bowerman manufactured the first pair of Nike sneakers for and when they were made, there is a great deal of debate. According to the official account, he made them just for Knight to use. For his part, an Olympic gold medalist by the name of Otis Davis has claimed that Bowerman designed and built the first pair of Nike shoes for him, despite the fact that he has stated that he did not enjoy the feel of the shoes on his feet, claiming that they were both too tight and provided insufficient support. Furthermore, Davis claims to have observed Bowerman constructing the first pair of Nike shoes, which he claims was done with an iron that looked like a waffle maker of all things. Number 5. The swoosh was on the first line of Nike shoes. During the early 1970s, Blue Ribbon Sports was preparing to launch its first line of sneakers, which featured the swoosh logo, which has come to be associated with the brand and its products since that time. In exchange for her services, Carolyn Davidson, a student at Portland State University, was entrusted with creating a logo for the shoe manufacturer and was paid $35. The most interesting element is that Davidson came up with a total of 5 potential designs, with Knight ultimately selecting for the swoosh as a result of time restrictions rather than a personal preference for the design. Number 4. Just Do It was created by Weeden plus Kennedy. The tagline, "Just Do It," which was first designed by Dan Weeden, one of the advertising agency's co-founders, as part of the Nike Just Do It campaign, is an exceptional example of Weeden plus Kennedy's collaboration with Nike. Gary Gilmore's final words before he was executed by firing squad in 1977, according to mythology, were, "Let's do it," which became the inspiration for the slogan, "Just Do It." It is worth noting that the individual in question insisted on his own execution after committing a couple of murders, which was notable in and of itself because it made him the first person to be executed in this country since the reinstatement of the death penalty in 1976. Number 3. Phil Knight is current chairman emeritus of Nike. During his tenure as Nike's CEO, Phil Knight served the corporation for more than 2 decades. His son Matthew Knight died while scuba diving in 2004 as a result of an undiagnosed cardiac condition, prompting him to leave from his job as Nike's CEO a few months later. At one point, Knight was still serving as chairman of the board, which meant that he was still a powerful figure at the company that he had helped to found. Knight passed away in 2011. It was decided to end his tenure as chairman in 2015, and he has since been referred to as chairman emeritus of the board of directors. Number 2. Has received a lot of criticism because of labor policies. Nike has received a large deal of negative criticism over the years as a result of the labor policies of the firms with whom it has gone into partnerships throughout the course of its history. For example, there has been opposition to the employment of child labor in the manufacturing industries in both Cambodia and Pakistan, which has prompted debate in both countries. Additionally, as a result of the existence of sweatshops in a variety of countries, including China, Indonesia, Mexico, and Vietnam, there has been widespread condemnation of the practice. In spite of the foregoing, the fact that Nike has such a broad international presence is a contributing factor to its widespread disapproval. Number 1. Has received praise for eco-friendliness. A surprising turn of events has resulted in Nike receiving a great deal of recognition for its relative environmental friendliness when compared to other international corporations. Naturally, this implies that it has a number of programs in place that are focused at supporting the particular cause at hand. Examples include the Reuse a Shoe program, which collects abandoned athletic shoes so that the recycled components can be utilized to construct surfaces for sporting activities such as basketball and volleyball. Another example would be the advertising campaigns that have been developed to raise awareness of environmentalist and related issues, among other things. What do you think of our list? Which thing do you like from above list? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.